All right, I think we're live. Hello. I hired me, mateys. Okay, whew, that was a while. Let's see, there we go. I do apologize. It took a little extra while to get set up. Number one, I haven't been on the green screen in a while, so things didn't save. Number two, I lost power. So who's saying, Raymond, Cuomo wants to roast the power companies? Yes, I can see why, because I did lose power. The only thing I want to set a little bit different. Color temperature. I'll warm this up a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't change too much. That looks good. All right, good. So hello, Delvin. Thank you for joining. I guess the YouTube algorithm, the YouTube notifications, they worked. I see you're here. I hope you guys weren't waiting too long. It's because it is a half hour after I said I was going to start the stream. But thank you both for being here. How are you guys doing? Artemis Pirate Bay Warrior. All right, so Delvin's been such a long time. How have you been? What is the update now with the sunset time? Because I know daylight saving time ends very shortly. So we're going to see that coming up not too long, unfortunately. I kind of like where it is now, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for joining. So we're going to talk a little bit about the radar here. There's still some little bands here, some showers. And this, on radar scope, I have the shear tracks here, so it was actually picking up some shear. Real hello, yes. Sunset is moving too, yep. Ending 7:16. Where is your cannons, Raymond? I don't need cannons. I got a dagger, and this we are going to carve this pumpkin with. As one. And we have a sword. That's all I need. Now I hope this doesn't throw off anything with... Okay, so it doesn't throw off anything with the green screen. But you can see the shine there. Wow, okay, I don't want to stab the pumpkin just yet. Haha. So we will save that. And I have this set up so when I do wear this, it has a loop that I can loop through the belt, and I can have the belt right on me. It was just, it's a little bit close quarters right now, especially with the carving of the pumpkin, so I didn't want this to get in the way. So I have it for effects. I have my effects, as Captain Jack says. And it can't be a live stream and a pirate live stream without one thing. Oh, what we got here? Raymond, it auto-blocked your comment. There we go. There we go. Now it's through. So we're going to carve the pumpkin. We're going to use the dagger initially, but then I have a little like box cutter knife that's a bit better. And as I was saying, it cannot be a proper live stream. Aye, as a pirate, without a little rum. So, cheers to you. Ooh. Bacardi Limon. Cheers. So we'll be sipping on that. Excited for some snow. Mainly a lonely winter. So I haven't officially looked towards my winter outlook just yet. I know it's getting late in the year for that, but things are changing, and I was mentioning this last time with Raymond Delvin, but I've been noticing the squirrels. The squirrels, they are getting really fat. And that's something that I do pay attention to. Besides climate, and yes, they do look at the Farmer's Almanac as well, but those squirrels, they're getting really fat, and they're getting very vigorous with burying their acorns. And specifically this year, they're getting vigorous with these pumpkins. So that may be a sign that they're preparing for a bad winter. Ah, yes, Raymond, I do get that. But wait, you can't have this because this is 35% alcohol. No, no, no. The CDC recommends, I think it was 60 or 70% alcohol. So this is not strong enough. We need some like strong 70% alcohol. So if I had Bacardi 151, there we go. I'm sterilizing the insides, right? Is that what they say? I think maybe it just tastes okay. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on right now before we get into the pumpkin carving. So here on the radar, it's mostly out. Let me just put it in motion here. And now we have post-tropical storm cyclone Zeta. And we're going to take a quick peek also at Eta. Zeta. I haven't really learned the Greek alphabet, so I'm looking this up every time. We have Zeta going into Eta. It's not formed yet, but it has a good potential to form. Oh, very interesting, Delvin. See, these were the facts I was missing. I missed you in the live streams because of that. I really learned something. But I'm glad it worked out this time with those notifications. I just apologize again that I was late to the stream. And I hope I don't lose power again. That's going to be the key, is not losing power. Okay, so we're seeing on the radar here, most of the bulk of that rain is making its way out. We still do have a couple little lingering showers inland, more going into the northern Hudson Valley, or mid-Hudson Valley there. Some going into South Jersey. Let me make this up a little bit more here. We're going to switch this to the Albany radar. Ooh, there's some rotation detection happening here. So right there, we got a little rotation, a radar indicated rotation. So that's kind of interesting to see. But still, there is quite a bit of rain up there. Again, going into the Hudson Valley, not so much. Then going south of New York City into Jersey, there's still a little bit more. And then let's go out a little bit to the Boston area. The other look for this, instead of a pirate, it could actually be Boston, I guess, Revolutionary War. That could work. Can't see the boots, but I got some fancy pirate boots with this too. Delvin should work for NASA. Delvin, do you? Maybe you secretly work for NASA and you can't tell us? Okay. So, let me get this off. There we go. Now we see the towns. But what's also interesting is you see these like bands. There we go. These little bands that you're seeing within there. This is a very complex system that we're dealing with. And that's also where that snow chance kind of comes in. So the bulk of this rain is going to be making its way out. Now we do have the counterclockwise rotation in the upper atmosphere. And when we have on the back side of that low, this is bringing in northerly winds. And I hear outside of where I am right now, I hear the wind. So it's going to get very windy. That could also cause power issues, which I have experienced already, and I hope I do not experience again, just because the way I have this computer set up for the streaming, it is not on a battery backup. My iMac is on a battery backup, and one of my other computers is on a battery backup. So if the power goes out, the recording, because I record these with the live stream, it actually corrupts the recording. So hopefully that doesn't happen. All right, anyway, so we have the bulk of this still on its way out. There's still rain out there that we're going to be dealing with. But then that cold comes in. I have 46 degrees, which is pretty chilly. But we're going to have colder air coming on in on the back side, that wrap around. And that's going to cause a little bit of snow. Raymond, you may be seeing the bulk of the snow compared to where I am or where Delvin is. Oh, I forgot one thing. I want to see. I think Joe Chaffee may be live right now, but I'm going to message the group. Oh, I have another friend that was asking. Let me see. We still keep in contact, which is good, with the Firehouse and Weather team, so I still talk with Joe Rayo, Joe Chaffee. Hopefully, nope, I gotta just get this. I think it is going. There we go. All right, so I sent that out, so we may be getting a few guests in the chat. Shar, hello. How are you? It's been a while. It's also been a while since I've been on live, but it's also been a while since we've seen each other in the store. How have you been? Very interesting situation we're having right now with Zeta. It's a very complex system. We're just kind of going over what's happening right now on the radar. Yes, Shar, I do definitely miss seeing you. Just because that today at Apple it's all paused, so I really miss teaching that. I've been doing phone support, which not my favorite. But anyway, back to the weather. Shar, I don't know if you partake in any drink, but as a pirate, I got a little rum here, because the rum can't always be there when we need it. So cheers for that. I do like this lemon, Bacardi lemon, limon. All right. So that's what's happening right now. We do have those winds, as I was mentioning. I hear the winds. The winds are starting to affect my power, so I lost power just before I was about to go live, and that's what was causing some issues with the setup. So that's what we're experiencing right now. Oh, Raymond, are you thinking Pokemon? Shar is a friend from the Apple Store where I work at and that I was teaching at. So that's where we know each other from. And also I have a couple of friends that may be joining as well from Apple. One, his name's Johan. But we'll see also if some of the other guys, Joe Rayo, Joe Chaffee, I know Brittany said she might jump in. The Fios One Weather Gang may be just jumping in and out for this. It's because it is busy with weather stuff going on. All right. There's actually a new rotation center that just came up right there. That is radar indicated rotation. And that's what I was saying before. So Shar, I'm showing on the radar here. All of the little like pink purple outlines, that is shear. So that's the radar indicating a little bit of rotation in the upper atmosphere with this. Now with every type of tropical system, you do have tornadoes. Every hurricane has a tornado inside it. It's just you can't always see it because of the overall destruction with the hurricane. But with the little bit of shear here and there, we can see it on the radar. So there was a little bit of shear coming through as that's making its way out. We're seeing a couple little other, like there's a spot there's a spot there for some shear. I think before when I was on the Albany radar, there was also a little bit of shear up there. There's a little bit of shear heading out towards Boston there, but that's on the tail end of this system. The second wave of it is going to be the strong winds, not necessarily rotating winds, straight line winds, but northerly winds. And when we have those northerly winds coming down from Canada, that brings the cold air in. Oh, in New York State, 2,400 plus, yes. Raymond, I did look and see, it was like 70,000 new cases, I think, statewide. It's insane. All right, let me start bringing up some things here. So let's take a look at the National Hurricane Center. There we go. So here is Zeta. We'll just pull up just the bigger map for right now. So we have Zeta, that red dot. And that red dot, the circle with the X through it, that means no, it's not X marks the spot with the treasure. The X through there, that means post-tropical. So it's become the official name for this, and I'll bring this up here. Post-tropical cyclone Zeta. That's the official name. We can just call it the remnants of Zeta. We can just call it post-tropical storm Zeta, post-tropical cyclone Zeta. But that's the official name for it right now, is that. Yes, Delvin, I did see that just because it was weird around the area. New York State overall, I think, was at like 1.8% positive versus Jersey was 6 to 7%. And Connecticut, I think, was somewhere up around the 5 or 6. So it's around New York State. But thankfully, New York State is okay. Hopefully, I just really hope that these red zones really clear up. Just because the red zones, specifically in the lower Hudson Valley, are causing issues. I definitely see why, with these long sleeves, you have all that fancy hand movement from Captain Jack Sparrow. Approaching 7%. And it's not helping that some states are limiting the testing. I just heard Florida, they're only testing those that are symptomatic. So if somebody is positive but asymptomatic, that's not being tested. So it's kind of artificially lowering the positivity rate of the state. But we're not getting into politics. No politics here. Hey, none of that stuff here. Let's not get to that point there. We're going to get to the point of the pumpkin a little bit. Okay, so let me pull up some satellite here. And we're going to take a look at the satellite with Zeta. Oh, I did want to mention just super quick, 30% chance of cyclone formation right there. That would be Eta. Zeta going into Eta. So let me put this in motion here. So right there, that is the bulk right here of Zeta. Making its way out, still leaving some heavier rain, even though this is satellite we're looking at right now. But the darker clouds there, the bluish color, that's the thicker clouds, that we are seeing some rain lingering there, and still some pretty heavy rain that is still out there with the system. But thankfully, most of that heavy rain around the core, the center of rotation, is into the Atlantic Ocean. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more here. There we go. So this is where we can see, yeah, the bulk of that is out. We do have a couple of these little strands left. That was getting up near Albany there. So Raymond, that's kind of where it's affecting you still a little bit. Getting out into Massachusetts, you're still seeing some moderate rain there in places. Ah, Johan, hello. An area of interest in the Caribbean. Yes, Raymond, that was what we were just talking about. And Johan, hello. Thank you for joining. I hope you're doing well. We have some rum here. I'm not taking a full shot every time. I'm just taking a little sip when we have somebody new. So cheers, Johan. I do enjoy that little lemon aftertaste. Okay. So that's making its way out. And again, in the northern hemisphere, we have counterclockwise rotation around the center of the low. So on the back side here, we're starting to get this northerly wind. And Johan, I was saying before, me matey, are there be strong winds, maybe breaking some sails and ripping some sails, because I did lose power with the wind. Just before I was going live, I know you texted me earlier, but that was kind of where the power outage was happening, and then that reset my whole streaming setup here. But lost power. That's what we could be seeing as well. Localized power outages with these strong winds. The soggy ground could cause some trees to topple over, especially with those winds. And this is the other interesting part with this kind of complex system. So Zeta is making its way out. We have the wraparound northerly winds coming through. But then just behind there, we have this next system. That is a low pressure system that's forming in the wake of Zeta. Not a tropical system, just a normal kind of like low pressure system. It's called the synoptic scale low pressure system, moving from west to east, kind of like normal. Systems move from west to east across the US. That's what we're seeing here. However, it's kind of picking up some of the little moisture pieces of Zeta. So it's going to form in this wake. So we're going to have the cold starting to funnel in from the north on that wraparound backside of the low pressure system. And then when we have the cold already set up there, then we're going to have some moisture coming in. And when the moisture comes in, that's going to cause a little wintry precipitation mix. And depending on exactly where you are, it's going to be very different. It could just be cold rain, and then getting a little bit more north, and we'll look at the forecast models in a second. But with the higher elevation areas, especially like northern Hudson Valley and north, you could see maybe 1 inch to 3 inches of snow. It's a little bit of far-fetched out there, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Interesting to say. Also, that kind of brought up because things happening not too often. We have had an October snowstorm, and also today is the 8-year anniversary of Hurricane Sandy. And we're talking about the 8-year anniversary of Sandy because we had post-tropical cyclone Zeta. Sandy was a hurricane. So anybody that says that it wasn't a hurricane, it was a hurricane. We had Hurricane Sandy, but when Hurricane Sandy made landfall going into the Jersey Shore, it lost its tropical characteristics and became post-tropical. So the official Superstorm Sandy, Superstorm's a made-up name, it's just a news flashy name. The official title for it was, just like before we saw, with this was the official title for Sandy. Post-tropical cyclone Sandy. That was the official title. Not Superstorm Sandy. No. Post-tropical cyclone Sandy. And of course, if you work in the news business like I have, any media production, that's too sciencey of a name. It doesn't sound catchy. But Superstorm Sandy, that does. That has that alliteration that just rolls off the tongue. So we have post-tropical cyclone Zeta that is almost 8 years to the day happening with post-tropical cyclone Sandy. And we had two low pressure systems. We had the hurricane itself, we had Sandy itself, we have Zeta, and then we had that low pressure system that came in from the west with Sandy. That's what caused the leftward turn that pulled Sandy into the Jersey Shore. And then we have another very similar, just not as strong, not nearly as strong, but we have another low pressure system in the wake. It's just that they were in different places. So this system is not directly affecting Zeta. So that's a difference between 8 years ago today and today. The political sphere of naming storms. I do have some research that kind of contradicts what the official National Hurricane Center said. We're going to go a little bit off topic there, but let's go with it. So, the core, the center of rotation of a tropical system, you have a warm core, meaning as you get closer to the center of rotation, the temperature increases. Normal low pressure systems that are not tropical, like this system here, you have what's called a cold core low. As you get closer to the center of rotation, the temperature drops. So that's a pretty big classification difference between a tropical system and kind of like a standard synoptic scale system. Now, with Sandy, the National Hurricane Center claims that as soon as it hit landfall, it became post-tropical. However, I have temperature data that shows as Sandy approached, because I'm just outside the New York City area, as Sandy was approaching New York City, the temperature was increasing going into the night. So you can't say that the daytime heat was heating up the temperature and skewing the results. No. As the night progressed, 7, 8, 9 p.m., the temperature was increasing, meaning it was warm core. Warm core systems are tropical. So it was still, by my readings, Hurricane Sandy. There was an ulterior kind of conspiracy theory that we'll just touch on real quick. The insurance companies, they insure for hurricanes and tropical storms and tropical depressions. The hurricane companies do not insure for post-tropical systems. So, if the National Hurricane Center changes the classification right at the point of landfall, then the insurance companies don't have to pay out because it's not a hurricane. It's not a tropical system anymore. It's just like a general low pressure system making its way through. So that is not covered under hurricane insurance because it's not a hurricane anymore. Keep that in mind. This cold shivers me timbers. Hey. Ooh, I forgot I still have a tag in there. Pirates don't have a price tag in their hat. All right. So now going back into more sciencey weather. So that's what's happening out there right now. And we'll see the wind too. Hint.fm/wind. This is a wind map. I believe it's updated every 5 to 10 minutes. This was last updated 7:32. So there we go, half hour. So let's take a look a little bit into the northeast here of a half hour ago where the winds were. Look at that, pretty much straight due north winds we're having. And then as you get that little tail end of Zeta, you see the winds go from almost due north and then switch and turn to that westerly. So that's going around that counterclockwise underside of the low pressure system that would be there. That's where we're seeing the flow from. That's the cold air coming straight out of Canada. Too many puns. Yeah, we're having a good time tonight. I have not, fun fact, Halloween costume wearing. I have not worn a Halloween costume since 2005. No, 2008. I have not worn a costume, a Halloween costume, since 2008. I remember it. It was my senior year of high school. I wore a costume. It was senior year for Halloween. And we were just like, yeah, let's have fun. One day. And that was it. Because as most of you know, so I know Johan, you know, Shar, you know, Delvin and Raymond, if you've watched a couple of videos, I've mentioned this before. Anybody new that doesn't know, I have type 1 diabetes. So I don't have candy. I've grown up with diabetes, so I just don't even have a taste for candy. So I never saw a point in going trick-or-treating and dressing up. So I never really went trick-or-treating ever since I was diagnosed with diabetes in 1999. So I just haven't trick-or-treated since then and just really haven't worn a costume. But it's fun. Walmart stopped selling guns. I never knew they started again. Just like I know Dick's Sporting Goods stopped selling guns too not too long ago. Okay, so there's the wind that we're dealing with right now. Now, let's start bringing up the forecast models. The good old Tropical Tidbits.com. I guess that power outage really caused a reset because it thinks I have never been to here before. Okay, let's focus in on the northeast. And this is starting at 0Z Friday, so 8 p.m. right now. So we can check. This is where you validate the initialization of the forecast model. This is a technique with forecasting to judge the reliability of the forecast model. So when we look at the initial frame, initialization, the very first frame, let's compare what we see here. So kind of keep that picture in your mind. And again, this is not radar. This is 6 hour. So if you look up here, 6 hour average precipitation rate, not radar. So kind of keep that in mind as we go back from the real radar to the 6 hour average precipitation rate. So take a look at that. And let me back this up a little bit here. Let's actually go, not radar scope, let's go to the national radar. There we go. So yes, it is a little bit further ahead just because that is real radar versus a 6 hour average precipitation rate. So it's kind of good. The GFS isn't handling it too bad right now. Yes, Raymond, you are definitely correct with that. However, I don't know if you've seen the show The Connors, but they had a really cool idea for trick-or-treating. Trick-or-treating within your own house. All of your doors. This is a really cool tip if there's anybody that's watching that wants to trick-or-treat safely without leaving their house. It does take a lot of family members, but that's what they had in the Connors household. Behind each door in your house. So I got 2 doors in the studio right here. I got a garage door, a basement door, a front door, a bathroom door, a bunch of closet doors. Behind each door was somebody that had a trick or a treat. So they could have had a bag of candy. They could have had brownies. They could have had just, I guess, general candy. Or it could have been a trick and they scared you. So the two kids that were doing the trick-or-treating in the household, they would knock on each door within the house and then somebody would come out, whether it's a trick or a treat. That was a really smart way to still have fun trick-or-treating safely within your own home and within your own family bubble. So that was really good. Just like with this, I'm just dressing up. Maybe I'll get some pictures with the real sword and the dagger. Okay. So there's the radar compared to the forecast model. So the GFS wasn't doing too bad. Now let's start taking a look on here as we progress. See the blue? That's the little concerning part, that little bit of blue. Not the whole thing. But if you kind of follow the Hudson Valley, that's where that is. That little valley area coming down, that could be cold enough for snow. Let me just check one thing here. All right, we're good. So the GFS is showing that. We're not really going to look at snow totals. I'm just going to show you where it is. So the GFS is saying snow, 6-hour precipitation of trace amounts of snow by 12Z. And 12Z is, we're still in daylight saving time. So 12Z Friday is 8 a.m. for the East Coast. So that's what the GFS is showing. Still lingering a little bit here. Yeah, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Yeah, you're still maybe seeing some snowflakes there. Then it makes its way out. Still you're seeing there that pressure gradient right here. That, when these isobars get really tight together, that increased pressure gradient, like if you're looking at a topographical map, that means windy conditions. So that makes sense, that low pressure system making its way through. It's windy there. Then it starts getting a little bit better. The isobars get a little further apart behind here. Now this is going into Saturday for Halloween. So this is 0Z Saturday, which is 8 p.m. Friday. So let's advance this here. Going into the overnight, the witching hours, going into midnight, 3 a.m. Then right here we have the high pressure. Right over smack dab in the middle of New York there. That is 12Z Saturday, so that's 8 a.m. Halloween. It's actually going to look like a pretty nice day. That high pressure is acting like a shield, keeping everything else at bay. And when the high is overhead, it's not as windy as elsewhere. So like we still have a bit of a pressure gradient right here. That's to the southeast of the high, and then going into the northwest, or the northwest of the high. But right over the high, not much is happening. Clockwise rotation. And yes, Raymond, you are right. That's why I've been very careful, and I've been working from home since March. I really haven't been out. The only thing I went out for was today. With the diabetes, I have to get regular blood work done. So I had a blood draw. It was a drive-by blood draw where you just drive up at the tent area of the endocrine associates place that I went to. You stick your arm out, they stick the needle in, get the blood, and then you go. That's been the closest interaction I have had with people outside of my house. You are too, Delvin. But yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. I like where I live. That's why I bought this house, because of where it is. Specifically because of this studio potential I saw 4 years ago. Yeah, it's pretty much 4 years ago when I bought the house. The potential to build a green screen studio in this spot is why I chose to buy this house versus other houses I was looking at. Okay, so Halloween. This is what I was mentioning on Tuesday's Games and Storms live stream. Halloween looks good, but then on the backside it gets windy. And now we're going into midday Sunday. Later in the day Sunday, here we go. We have, again, we're starting out with some rain. The backside here, we're getting those northerly winds, bringing in some chances of some flurries again. Overnight, late overnight Sunday into Monday, but not for everybody. And again, maybe some lake effect snow. Raymond, we were mentioning this on Tuesday. The lake effect snow chance going into, what is the time frame? This is 12Z Monday. So that's 7 a.m. because the time change already happened by then. So that's 7 a.m. Monday, where we're seeing a little bit of that lake effect snow chance there. But windy. Ooh, windy. Look at that pressure gradient. And in terms of temperature, we kind of look at what's called the isotax, the thickness lines. The thickness of 540 decameters is about where the freezing line is. It's not the freezing line. They usually coincide, the freezing line and the 540 line. Now the 540 line, it's a little hard to see. 540 line's here, so kind of think of your freezing line as that far south. So if down here off the screen, if that's the freezing point, that's going to be cold getting up there. Should I start fishing? Why should I start fishing? I do fish. Well, I actually haven't been fishing in a long time. I like fly fishing. So that's kind of what we're seeing there. Going into Monday morning, a little bit of some lake effect snow, maybe some flurries. And then again here, this is this is about 1 a.m. Tuesday. A little bit more lake effect snow chances, another little low pressure system there. That, I don't know if that was Eta. I have no idea where Eta was going. Where is this? Let's take a look at a wider picture. Let's go eastern U.S. Here we go. All right, let's follow this. So that's not Eta. Where is Eta? Eta doesn't even show up on here, so it must stay south of the bottom of the screen there. And that's starting to get too far out. That's going into next Wednesday, November 4th. Oh, November 3rd, Election Day. So the first half, let me zoom in again. The first half of your day for Election Day is going to be, again, a chance of some flurries there or some showers, but then it clears out later in the day. So this is 7 p.m. on the GFS for Election Day. I mean, first half maybe a little bit better. I don't know about you guys, but I did mail-in voting for the very first time ever. Usually I go to my polling place and I vote there. But this year I submitted an application for an absentee ballot because, again, diabetes and COVID. But I did the absentee ballot for the first time, and the one thing that disappointed me was I didn't get a sticker. I was so expecting in that ballot envelope to have an I voted sticker in there. Ah, the little things. Aye, the little things. Aye. Ah, okay, I see, Raymond. Yes, because I know Joe goes fishing more often than I do. Okay, so we're really not going to take an in-depth look at every single forecast model. But I'm just going to show you a couple here. Let's go to the icon. Let's rewind this. Let's Saturday. Just a quick little look there. So there goes Zeta. Behind it, the icon doesn't have the cold come down as much. Halloween, there's that high coming in, so that looks pretty much in line. Here comes that next system where, again, in the front, it's going to start with some showers, the periods of rain. The heavier rain stays south of the area, but behind it, lake effect snow, and that's about the same thing. Late Sunday going into overnight Monday. And then the next system here, this is late Monday going into overnight Tuesday, except there's more snow here, it's looking like on the icon. It's still staying north. Again, probably some lake effect. Second half of the day, so this is Tuesday afternoon on election day. Second half of the day, so that's kind of in line with what we were expecting. And when I did the forecast discussion on Tuesday, let me just bring up the real radar here as a background. When I did the forecast discussion on Tuesday, we were really just showing a lot of these forecast models were in agreement with each other. There wasn't that much of a variation, which is a good thing. Okay, so that was the forecast discussion part. Now, the last little bit here, we're going to carve a pumpkin. Oh, I don't have a garbage can. Let me see if I can get that garbage can super quick, and I will be right back. Arr. We have to salvage and pillage some seeds coming out of the pumpkin. So I'll be right back. Hello, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. There we go. I wish this had a mute button instead of just an audio slider. Maybe it does. Yeah, I heard that too, and YPD making a statement about that, but I hope not. I just wish everybody could get along, whether you agree or not with whoever is in charge. Okay, anyway, back to the pumpkin. There's the pumpkin. Pretty good looking pumpkin there we got. We didn't get to choose it just because this came out of a ShopRite. Oh no, Stop and Shop delivery. And whoever picked the pumpkin knew what they were doing, because this is a pretty good pumpkin. So let's start by cutting it open. That's what the dagger will be for. But I'm just gotta mark where I'm gonna pull the top off. There we go. I didn't bring the toothpicks with me, but I'm going to try and do like toothpick teeth Okay, so I got that. Now it'd be time for a dagger. I know the dagger works really well because with Meg, yes, Meg is not here right now because we are still in separate houses. So she was here not too long ago because we're still isolating where each of us are. Occasionally we still cross over every once in a while, but they're doing the same thing we're doing. We're not going to do that for the holidays, however. Safer that way. But she was here and we did carve a pumpkin together then, just didn't do it live because we wanted to have some personal time. Okay, so now, with the dagger, Diana, what do you be saying? Yes, Raymond. Although I probably wouldn't grab it, the whole pumpkin by the stem, until I cut it. But, it does have a nice little grip there. All right. Let me see. I'm going to try and lower the camera a bit. Yes, you're seeing a little bit more, but I'm going to show you the top cutting part. Just for now, the initial, I've waited to do this because I personally sharpened this dagger. May not be the best. Don't try this at home, kids. Yes, listen to the guy. Only use sharp implements if you know how to properly use them. Ready? Ha-ha! There we go. That'd be a dead pumpkin. All right, now let me just tilt this back up here. Okay, good. Now, ooh, it's actually bleeding. Ha! Not me, the pumpkin. The pumpkin's bleeding. Drinking and carving pumpkins don't mix. That is true. I have not had a lot. This is not, I did not actually drink that much. This is just what's left over. I've just had a couple of sips. Just because drinking it straight is a little tough. And I need a tissue. Because the pumpkin is actually bleeding. Or juicing, I should say. The pumpkin's juicing here. There we go. Okay. Now let's get to just cutting this out. And you kind of want to go in at an angle, whether you're using a dagger or not. The dagger, though, is pretty sturdy. This feels like some pretty thick walls on the pumpkin. And I do have the table all covered, too. Yeah, there's some pretty thick walls on this pumpkin here. But I guess that means it's a healthy pumpkin. I actually saw somebody that was carving today. They don't cut from the top. They cut from the bottom. They cut up upside down. And then when you're able to pull out the bottom, they made a little cutout inside to put a candle in. Well, you just do that from the top too. Because I feel like I'm decapitating, like Frankensteining the pumpkin. Which no, Frankenstein is not what I'm going to do for my carving. Now, how does this even look? A pirate with a dagger doing some slicing. No, this is not the first time I've done this either. Yes, Raymond. Don't drink and drive either. Don't drink and slice, and don't drink and drive. For those that are of age, make sure you have either a designated driver. Ooh, that went through the other side. Make sure you either have a designated driver or you are walking wherever you are going, which you really shouldn't be going out anywhere either. Remember that. Raymond, we just talked about that. So, you shouldn't really be going out, like to a bar or anything like that. But I want to get pumpkin on my new costume shirt. Oh, I got a little there. Oh. You know what? Maybe I should just roll these up. There we go. We're getting serious now. We're rolling up the sleeves. It does. It feels weird being dressed up as a pirate with a dagger, slicing into a pumpkin. I feel like I'm trying to undo some curse, like in Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Aye, me mateys, have you heard of the stories of the Black Pearl? Oh, almost done with the top. Alright, so we got a round, now you gotta do a little like key notch so that the pumpkin lines up properly. I actually just watched the original Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, the other day. And in my head right now, I have the Captain Barbossa. Blood be done, undone by blood, or something like that. Almost there. Got a little bit more. Oh, yeah. Almost there. I got maybe like 6 inches left. Oh, there went the pan. I'll pick that up in a second. And then we're almost done with the dagger. Ooh, there we go. Aha, we have a decapitation, or a skinning, depending on how you want to look at that. All right, so I'm not going to put this right back in the sheath for the dagger. I'm just going to put this off to the side. Okay. we go. Okay, I see, Raymond. Yeah, I have Disney Plus too. It was a year free with Verizon or something. Like you get your 1 year trial of Disney Plus. So all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. All right, let me get the pan. And now we're going to start pulling out some seeds because we bake the seeds. Let me use the scooper for that. And that looks pretty good there. Now I get some of those guts off the top here. Raymond, this handle is working really well on this pumpkin. Almost cleaned off. All right, there we go. And then with that little notch, it slides right back in. Ooh, there looks like a lot of seeds in here. And yes, I'm using an ice cream scooper. Now, I don't know if anybody looked this up, but what's the whole thing with this pumpkin spice latte? Because it's not entirely pumpkin flavored. Interesting. You're doing bi-weekly updates for COVID, right, Delvin? You thought about going live? Oh, yes. I was definitely too busy. Just because the new thing I'm doing with the phone support is not what I was expecting. I think I might have to roll these sleeves up a little more. I do like that there's a lot of lacing on this costume. And Delvin, that's pretty interesting. And Raymond, yeah, I wish I could still be able. If it was a normal year, I'd still be on it like I was before. Although Fios One News ending actually has nothing to do with COVID. Even though, yeah, that was November. No, that started in August of last year. The contract non-renewal. There's so many seeds in here. Ooh. That's not good. Hold on. I don't want this to get in the pumpkin. Meg said this is her favorite part of pumpkin carving is gutting the pumpkin. So many seeds. That means this was a healthy pumpkin. Some seeds are loose, some seeds are attached. So I have two separate piles here for seeds and guts, and then just seeds. And knock on wood, I have not lost power since before. No, Raymond, I did not lose power on that derecho. Surprisingly, I was surprised I didn't lose power. Like I lost power today, but I didn't lose power for that. I'm going through my mind what I want to do. I think I have a pretty good idea what I want to carve in this pumpkin. Now we're getting to the very end. Yeah, I know there were some seeds in there, but there's plenty here. Alright, so now I gotta start carving out a little bit of the inside. Tradition even start? I don't know if one of you guys can look this up, but where did the jack-o'-lantern, or if you know it, if anybody knows it, where did that old jack-o'-lantern pumpkin carving thing start? Oh, I got right on my keyboard and mouse. The challenges of dealing with this while doing a live stream is technology and pumpkin guts don't mix. There we go. Also, joke for everybody. What happens? What do you get when you drop a jack-o'-lantern? What do you get when you drop a pumpkin? There you go. What do you get when you drop a pumpkin? Anybody know? Let me put these little pieces back and tuck them in. There we go. All right. Anybody? What do you get when you drop a pumpkin? Almost done clearing it out. Ooh, almost dropped that. That's not good because, again, the technology and food don't always mix. Right underneath the pan is the computer I am streaming from that has open holes on the top for air ventilation. So if pumpkin guts get in there, we could get pumpkin guts inside the computer. Which I'm sure isn't the worst thing that has been found inside of a computer before. Got a couple more loose seeds there. And one more kind of like a little once over, and I think this is good to go. All right, that looks good to go. I like that little notch, lines it up perfectly right there. All right, so we will get the tray of pumpkin seeds out of the way. And I see my laces on my sleeve came undone again. Just a little bit of a cleanup there. And yes, Raymond, I have heard of that before. Very recently was the ransomware attacks. Can't people just not do that right now? If there was ever a time to not do that. Okay. So we got that. I think I want to have, I'm going to put the face of the pumpkin kind of like right on here. I'm going to do a little outline of it. Because I do have kind of like my evil eyes that I usually like to do. Kind of see it. So there's one evil eye. We're going to go a little over here. There we go. There's two evil eyes. I don't know how well that comes up on the camera. Yeah, it doesn't come up well at all. But you'll see when I cut it out. So we're going to work on the eyes first. Then I'll decide for the mouth in a second here. And again, kids, PSA, if you're carving a pumpkin, make sure to have an adult with you. Or if you are an adult, make sure you know how to use a knife. And make sure you're using a good knife because this is not locking. There we go. Alright, that's doing much better. The lock wasn't engaging before. There we go, starting to come out. All right, let's pop this out. There's one eyepiece carved out. Ooh, looking good there. This is looking good. I won't show you just yet. I want to have both eyes done and then I'll show you guys. Yeah, I literally just heard that before the stream started here. Oh, all my stuff is coming out done. The Italy, France, Raymond, I think it was. And here we go. There comes out the second eye. Let's clean this up a little bit here. Almost cleaned out. That looks good for the eyes. Look at that. There's some evil eyes. Let me put the cap on. There we go. There's some evil eyes. All right. Now, I didn't even make this connection until somebody else said it. The eyes I usually do, they are the eyes. I'll fix this in a second. The eyes off of Venom from the Marvel Universe. Never even made that connection before. Only Italy and Portugal in curfew. Okay. Almost there we go. Just gotta. Oh, it keeps unducking. I tuck it in, it comes back out. There we go. That's good enough for now. All right. And it all came back out here. Okay. There we go. So that looks good there. Now, I think I want to do just a kind of like a curved, angry mouth. Let me dump all this in here. Okay. I think I'm just going to do kind of like that. There we go, kind of like that. Let's cut it out now. So I'm going to use toothpick for the teeth, so I don't have to do the jaggedies. So this should be fairly straightforward. Okay, almost done. Got the bottom. Let's get the top now. Almost. Still something holding it together. Oh, there we go. Aha! There's a mouth. Oh, I love this. I'll just clean this up a little bit in the inside. Almost. I feel like an old-timey artisan. There we go. Actually, kind of looks like it has a lip, which I like. Oh, I just gotta hope I have toothpicks. All right, let's clean this out. Oh, there go my laces again. Oh, I think I got some more pumpkin on the sleeve. All right. And with that, I'm not going to put the teeth in right now, but I'm going to show you. That actually looks good right by itself. Ta-da! Ooh, gotta clean out a little bit more on that side. But ta-da! Evil looking pumpkin there. And the handle acts really nicely. So I like that. So that pretty much is it. I'm going to put that. That is going to be a sight. That may be a thumbnail after. We'll see. All right. Whew. That wraps this up. And with that, one last little sippy sip. Cheers. Aye, there be my rum. Why is the rum gone? The rum is not good. Lemony flavor, I do like that. All right, ooh, there go the sleeves. Yeah, it's all... Somebody made a joke. Forget about politics. It was just funny. So Trump is saying we've rounded the curve. But I forgot where, but they said, yes, we've rounded the curve, then rounded the curve, and rounded the curve. We've rounded so many curves that we're back where we started. Hey. Oh, funny. Ignoring politics, that was just funny. All right. So that is a wrap for this live stream. A little recap with Zeta, because we've still got Zeta up in the background here. It looks like the bulk of the rain is done. The strong winds are going to come in, sustained maybe 20 to 30 mile per hour, gusting a little bit higher than that. From the north, that means we're getting the cold air coming down from Canada. And when we get the cold air coming down from Canada, that's where we can see some snow. There's another low pressure system coming behind this system here, which is just not on the radar just yet. It's actually on the larger radar. Let me just put that up here. This one. That's the system. So that is what's going to come in, because in that little gap right there, that's where the cold air is coming down due north. And then we're going to have this system come through, potentially in the very high elevation areas, 2,000, 3,000 feet above sea level. You could see maybe an inch to 2 or 3 inches of snow, 1 to 3 possibly there. Once you get closer to New York City and even the lower elevation areas north of New York City line, kind of like that I-287 line. If you get north of that, you could see a dusting. So where I am north of that, so I could definitely see a dusting or a coating by the end of the morning tomorrow, because the snow is going to start before dawn and then linger a little bit light, mixing back and forth here and there until maybe about 11 or 12 o'clock. Then it's going to start clearing out later in the day tomorrow. And when it clears out completely overnight tomorrow into Saturday, Halloween looks like a very nice day. A little bit chillier, maybe temperatures in the 50s. So this is very light clothing, light vest. So this may be not warm enough. If I had an overcoat, like a pirate style overcoat, then I'd be good, because everything else is pretty good there. So that would be good there. And also, if you are going out or even just like standing on the front porch, definitely wear your normal mask. You might not want to wear a mask over the mask, because that could cause some breathing issues. But I may be doing that. I may wear my normal mask and then have like a pirate bandana over that. So I tried it. It didn't really restrict my breathing too much, but definitely keep that in mind if you're doing that. The curve is rounder than before. Round, yes. That was late night TV. Oh, yes. Raymond. That was late night TV. It was SNL, Saturday Night Live. Alec Baldwin has been playing Trump for a while, but now I love Jim Carrey. I absolutely love Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey, the way they do the makeup, the way he wears those aviator glasses, and the way they do the hair, he looks like Joe Biden's brother. He looks really similar to Joe Biden. And I love that. I love the little banter that they always have back and forth, but that's where they said it. And Alec Baldwin's impersonation of Trump, he was like, we've rounded so many corners, we're back where we started. That was the funny part. All right. So I got my pumpkin. I had a little bit of my rum there. I still got some more rum I'll be enjoying after the stream. After I clean up. But yeah, that is it. And once we get past this, we still got a couple more rounds of potentially some more little lake effects, snow flurries, snow showers, late Monday, or late Sunday into Monday, then late Monday into early Tuesday, clearing out a little bit for Tuesday. So thank you all for joining. I hope you, who we got still here? Still got a couple on the stream. So, the last one there. Sunset 5:38 on Halloween in Boston. Yep. Next stream on standard time. Yes. Well, maybe. I might do a live stream tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to try and do my normal weekend outlook, and I'm going to have a Halloween-themed weekend outlook. We'll see. I'm not sure if it's going to be live or if it's going to be recorded to add some sound and effects. So we'll see. This may be the last stream of Daylight Saving Time and then we go into standard time. But thank you guys for joining. Delvin, I am very glad you were able to get that notification and join. I apologize I was late just because of the weird glitch with the power. It caused some weird things that I had to reset up. But it was fun. Definitely fun. We looked at the weather, we got the pumpkin carving, and I got to be a pirate. Everybody wins. And I hope you guys were entertained. Were you not entertained? All right. So, thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Delvin. Shar, I don't know if you're still here, but thank you for joining in. It was definitely good hearing from you again. And Johan, if you're still here, thank you for joining in. I know you're the pirate guy. So, I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe if I don't see you before Halloween. Definitely stay safe with the social distancing. Keep that in mind, everybody. Everybody here in the chat seems to be really good with that, so I am very glad. But anybody that may not be normal a viewer of the channel, definitely keep that in mind. And if you are new, welcome. I am normally doing weather, standard weather instead of pirate weather. If you want to get more weather forecasting, feel free to hit that little subscribe button below. That's a wrap for tonight, everybody. Hey, let me wrap this up in me pirate's voice there. Thank you all for joining. Enjoy your Halloween. Stay safe, and I will see you all in the next video. Good night.